Hello and welcome back to Crazy Gamer Models. How's it going? This may be a kit you recognize because I have reviewed it in the past, at least looked at the sprues. It is Takom's JagdPanther G1. It is kit number 2125, but this isn't solely the reason why I have this kit. I also have Takom's German tank destroyer JagdPanther G2, still the 173. This one appears to have no Zimmerit. But what else is different? I was in the hobby store and I was asked by the owner, hey, what's the difference between these two kits? I had a guy asking me, always seemed to tell from the boxes the Zimmerit and some paint. And I'm like, well, let's figure it out. And he sent me home with this kit. Like I said, I already had this one, and he knew I had this one. He knew I put a review up on the channel because he runs it in his store to show people what's on the sprues. So, what's the difference between the two other than Zimmerit? The G1 has a nice hand-applied Zimmerit with a square boxy pattern on it, and we're going to find out the difference between the two. Now, if you look immediately at this side of the G2 box, it has a complete Rotobron color scheme inside of the hull. And this one has the cream-wise scheme and the Rotobron. So, and this one has, you know, the black. I can get them both on camera. I have to go up even more. You can see the difference there. There we go. You can see the difference between the two color schemes and the different markings and things like this. It appears that this G1 is an earlier, because you're getting 1944 color schemes, whereas you're getting 45 color schemes in this one. But what's the difference in the sprues? Now, the G2 kit number is 2118. Right, is that right? Yeah, 2118. And this one is 2125. So the G2 definitely came out first, I would believe. So let's do us a comparison here of the different boxes. First, let's look at the sprues. You can see both sprues next to each other here. And see what we have. Well, I can see the lower hull sections are labeled different. One's a Y3 and one's an L5. S3 is the same. The D, E, M, L, and N sprue are all the same. K3. The K3 and K5. Oh no, both K5s are in there. Is there a V3? No, no V3, so that's a different model. And F3. F3 is the same. H5 is the same. U3. No U3 either. Of course, the tracks are going to be the same, I believe. Tracks are the same. N3. So it appears in this later edition you get a little bit different stuff. Thought they were going to be more similar than this. We're going to hold that. We're going to keep this aside for references when we look at the sprues here. Let's open this up and see what's inside. Yeah, I haven't made the comparison yet. This is all done live. Well, not live, but you know, first time on camera. I'm not gonna edit this. Let us bring the camera back down. Alright, hopefully that's better. Sorry about all that camera movement. I'm on a different system here. I don't have my zoom like I used to. And as we can see, the box is mighty full. There we go. Seems better. Alright, sorry about all that camera movement here. Let's take a look at what we got here. Right off the start, we have an N2 sprue. N2 sprue. And the main reason I do these sprue reviews, looking at the sprues, is the store that I post them to, they like to show people what's in the sprues, and I also like to keep a record of what the sprues look like when I got them, in case there's damage or anything. I can get a replacement part and whatnot. Well, that's an interesting gate system right there. Okay, so N2. Is there an N2? Okay, so this is definitely a different sprue. So this sprue is not in the G1 sprue, in the G1 kit. Partly because it doesn't have the Zimmerit on it. It does have some nice cast texture on this, and I've seen a little bit of flash. We have the F3 sprue, which is in the G1 kit. And this is going to be your slide molded barrel. One piece slide molded barrel. Goes in there a good little bit too. A little bit of a seam line on there, so you have to take care of that anyways. Nice cast texture on this mantlet here. The whole sprue. And this, again, this is F3. Breech. And different little pieces, some arms. So basically your gun sprue. Well, I thought these bags had holes in them to run out all the air. Okay, so I'm going to keep that one over here because it's the same. Keep all the different ones. Now we have a sprue called V3. This looks like it has your lower spars in it. It has some pieces there. Your weapon rack, your ammo racks, your nicely textured ball mount cover for the gladius of the front of the turret for your machine gun, cooling fan covers, shovel with the strap, some various tools. If you look on here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but you see that tool strap right there? If you look at my Strum Tiger review, when that comes out, you'll see that their tool clamps molded have this spot cleared out. There's a hole in that square area, and it makes the tool clamp look so much better. That's why I replaced my tool clamps, because these look awful. They need this part cleared out. You can clear it out, but it just doesn't look as good. But with the Ryefield models, they actually, in the Strum Tiger at least, they molded those holes open. So they actually look pretty good. I'm going to be using their, when I build the kit, I'm going to be using their photo etch ones. I may save those tools for another kit and use those molded clamps for a kit like this, perhaps. I'm a big nut about tool clamps. So V3, let's check to see if that one is in here. Now, so V3 is another different sprue from the front one, and it makes me wonder why, because they both have the ammo racks. So that is another unique sprue. Then we have U3. And U3 is again a unique sprue for between the two. It has some final drive covers that may or may not be used. Some slide molded exhaust details. The heater fan for warming the crew compartment. Oh, it's got a bow in it. Have I ever seen one? Oh, so this has got the crew compartment heater. I wonder if this earlier 1944 version even has the crew compartment heater. It doesn't appear to. So that's an option. That's a different option for this G2, is you can have the heated crew compartment. So that's another big difference there between the two kits. Well, when they in the store argued that these two kits were the same, they were crazy. And then we have the infamous 3 sprues that are on all of Takom's Panther kits. And it is A, D, and E. So we have our A sprue, which has our wheels. Have to make sure they're not damaged. And our idler. And then these are 3 common sprues. And so far, every Takom Panther that I've opened have had these 3 sprues in it. The D and the E are connected, but it's basically your torsion bars, your drive sprockets, and whatnots. There's always one of these drive sprockets that's popped off, but they put the teeth in a good location. So that is So, as I said, these are definitely in the other one. So I've opened JagTigers or JagdPanthers, JagdPanthers, Panthers A's, Panthers G's, Panthers D's, and they've all had those last sprues in it. So here we have the hull, which we know is going to be different because this one doesn't have Zimmerit on it. It's some nice field applied Zimmerit if you so choose. Some nice texture. Not as much texture as a Rye Field model would have, but still not bad. Help if I showed it in camera. Got a major bow there. Oh, wow, that's gonna need some work to fix. Might have to put that in a jig when I glue it. Well, this bag is going to wrestle it to the end. Alright, so that is different. I'll put it in a different pile. And then we have two sprues that I know are the same. This is your standard L and M sprue. This is basically your bits sprue and your transmission sprue. You have your L sprue, which has your radiator fans, your transmission, most of your transmission, minus some parts from the M sprue. Nicely molded. A little bit of seam line on this hosing that goes over the engine. There's your drivetrain, or your drive shaft. Mount for the middle of the hull. And then we have the M sprue, which has your drive axles, drive shafts actually. And then we have some levers, different pieces for the hull, transmission, tank. It's just basically a random mix of pieces that are on most of the Panthers. Like I said, you get these sprues in every Panther kit. It doesn't mean you use all the pieces. Some of these kits, there are lots of extra pieces. I actually think if I build one more, like a G, I'll have an extra engine. It'll work out where I have an extra engine. And now we have W3, which is one I haven't seen before. Now this is the third JagdPanther I'm aware of from Takom. They have two G1s and then this G2. One G1 without Zimmerit and one G1 with Zimmerit. And then this G2, I don't know if they have a version with Zimmerit. If it was late in 45, they stopped doing Zimmerit in the factory. So, nice texture on this outer panel. And, for example, this is W3. Definitely not in this kit. Okay, so another different sprue. And you can see how there were parts that could have been molded in here, but they blocked the mold because there's a number 6 right there. Unless this 6 goes with this part. But you can tell that there's another partial number there. So this is part 3. There's also partial numbers, and they're not in order. You have 1, 2, 3, 10, 7, and 11. So there was definitely stuff removed from this sprue where they blocked it in the mold. Possibly were able to change the no, it could have been a D5. That is a different sprue. And now we have a J5 and an H5. H5 is going to be all your tools, and J5 is going to be some more sprockets, drive sprockets. You got to pay attention to which ones you want to use. And now, this J5 is in there, and I believe H5 is also in the same. They're the same. This is going to be your tools and your track racks for the side of the tank. Little track pins. I find these break, and then I just make them out of thin copper. But other than that, again, as you can see, the tool clamps are shoddy, and I don't care for them. I think a very well weathered model and nice tool clamps and little details like that, I think make awesome models. I cannot do fantastic things like that, but that's the models I like to look at. I'm not a big fan of the pristine models. So this is K5, and it has, see, this is where it gets me on these. K5, yeah, this is the same in each one. And they do this thing on the box where they show it where you can have a section of the skirting cut out. That's basically what that is. But they mold it as an overlapping skirt. So in order to cut it out, you're gonna have to mess with it. Let's put it that way. You're gonna have to mess with it a little bit to make it look good. I'm working on doing that for my JagdPanther, and that would come up on a Sunday for Panther Sunday. Every Sunday on my channel we talk Panthers. So and then we have here E2, F2, and J2, which these are your tools without tool brackets or tool clamps, and they're my favorite kind of tools. So you have your different jack options, you have your tools without tool clamps that you can get aftermarket tool clamps. I recommend Alliance Model Works. Their workable tool clamps are very nice. Nice tool cables. They never seem to work out for me, the little ones right here. These seem to always break apart and brittle. But you get two different jacks. Not bad. Oh, possibly 3 jacks. And then you have your final drive. And then on this one, we have some exhaust pieces, slide molded, of course, and a gun, and some exhaust, the ball mount for the machine gun. Looks like the headpiece for binocular scope, or the binocular scope. These are just some hull pieces here. An MG bag. It's weird because normally the MG bag is on the E-sprue. Like I said, these are the same in both kits. Now we have come to the ammunition. And a T3 sprue. This is your T3 sprue. Has your periscopes on it that are not clear, which I don't understand why they do all this detail. Now this is nice. These right here are your grease points for your torsion bars, and on the Panther kits, the A's, so far on the A's that I've noticed, they're just pieces with nothing. At least these show them terminating into the floor to make them look like there's something other than just a blob that does nothing. So that's pretty nice. So that's your T3 sprue. Check to see if there's a T3 sprue here. Yes, there is a T3. So both these are in the other G1 kit. This is definitely not turning out the way the guy at the hobby store thought it would. And this is your S3 sprue. It's your JagdPanther ammunition. So, nothing real to write home about on that. It's a tank killer, so it's going to have some large ammunition. Alright. So there's some more duplicate sprues. And then we'll just knock out the tracks real quick. I actually have videos in my Burnt Panther series on building these tracks here. They are individual guide horn tracks where you cut these out in sections and then you glue them onto the tracks, let them sit, and then you can cut all the extra sprue off and clean them up, and then cut the tracks out and work with it. Again, on Panther Sunday there will be another track update coming soon. And we are to a sprue that is different between the two. So this one is different. This is some extra engine components and whatnot. You have an extra air filter, some extra hosing, some storage bins, some different radiator and exhaust, not exhaust, but oh, here's an exhaust piece that's slide molded, the square style. I have a great book on Panthers that talk about all the changes that were made throughout the years and what to put on your Panther for the year you want to make it. It's called just show you real quick. This is Panther Tank Enthusiast Manual. It's a good book. Oh wait, that sprue is different. And now we have the R3 sprue. Let's check R3. Yes, R3 is the same. And we have some more drive shafts, control arms, another machine gun, could be the anti-aircraft gun, We have some floor decking with some nice texture on it. We have some internal transmission covers, one at least. Not sure what that is. So a bipod. Nice texture for the seats, front of the seats. There's some more floor texture here. And some more ammunition racks. So R3, as I said, this is a double. This is the same, not a double, but in both kits. So in both kits here. Now we move on to one that is different. This is your Y3. This is your lower hull here. Your lower hull and your upper sides, your engine compartment bulkheads, the roof of the JagdPanther engine cover, and it looks like some braces or supports. And radiator covers for the engine deck. Well, there's a nice texture on the bottom of this, and also on the top of the. Not as nice as other kits I've seen, but still nice. The ejector pins look like they may be in locations where you're not going to deal with them. There was definitely something molded in here, 2 and 5, and this whole section had stuff molded in it. Down here also. So this one is a different sprue. And last but not least is a common sprue between the two. It is your engine sprue, and it is the end sprue. Again, this one is common to all Panthers that I have reviewed or opened or looked into, is the end sprue. So there's a full interior Panther kit, and I haven't reviewed it or looked at it or opened it. I would like to know about it. All the ones I have done are on my channel that have full interiors. I'm not interested in ones that don't have full interiors, because I am a big fan of these Panthers. I know I'm doing a build technique series with the Tiger with clear parts, but that's just because it's not a Panther and I don't care if it's painted or not. So, and I'm also doing a build review of the King Tiger kit from Takom, and I'll tell you, I think Panthers are Takom's flagship because they are way better engineered and the instructions are better written in the Panther kits than that King Tiger kit. So that's for sure. Now let's take a look. We have some photo etch, tow cable, ammo decals, regular decals. And then we have the book. Now, this new camera does not like these books. So, and this kit is a 2018 kit, guys. So it's not very old. So, let's see if it'll let me look through this. We have a sprue map. And then we have typical Panther, starting with the lower hull, transmissions, a build it itself, fitting everything, working on your different options for final drive covers. Just go ahead and ease you up here so you can see all this. Alright, so we have radios, wheels. I love them Panther wheels. And now we go back to regular pages. Now it's kind of washing out, so I'll flip through quickly. tracks, track assembly, tracks on the unit, and then the engine, which is a build in itself. It actually makes a beautiful engine. Ammo and ammo racks, side pieces, finishing off the engine, the rear panel. A lot of different options to go on the rear panel. You can check your references. So, there we go. Some more glossy pages for the last section here. Then we have some different markings, 1945, 1945. Yeah, all 45, so this is a pretty late model. I like this straight pattern. And then we have what the interior would look like. Oh, wow, even two more, 45 and 45. This one's, I like all these stripe patterns, I really do. So, and then we have consoles, gun, engine, decals. It's got a nice placard for the engine saying it's a Maybach. So, no ads in the back of this one, that's weird. So, oh, there's a QR code if you want to check this out on Facebook. So, my alarm. So, that is the Panther, JagdPanther G2 from Takom, with a slight talk about the comparison to the G1 kit, which is 2125. This is 2118. So, I hope you enjoyed this. For Crazy Gamer Models, I am the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a fantastic day. And check out Panther Sundays.